Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lessons from the Heart. This week, I want to take Kevin and probably myself on a journey of talking about the power of love as a way of working within yourself with your own challenges. And I've in particular had an experience this week of using it to transform difficult patterns that I've had in the past around relationships. So the backstory to this is that we have all had experiences in life that mean that we've got certain habits in how we deal with parts of ourselves. Right? So there might be a part of yourself that feels a bit unworthy when it comes to work or other relationships or the idea of being in a partnership. And I've got them too, right? Because we've all been human. We've all had these experiences. And Kevin and I have talked a lot about the idea of many of us, when we're faced with these internal challenges, will work with working externally to try and distract ourselves from them, which is good for a period of time. It's not bad. I'm not going to judge it. I think it's good, right? Sometimes a bit of distraction.
Yeah.
Then when you cannot deny anymore that you have to work on something, what's the way to go about doing that? And that's what I really want to talk about today. Before we do that, do you want to talk about the idea of that most people, when they think about love, are thinking about love between them and another person?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that there's probably two types of love.
Yeah. So for the last couple of years now, I've been working from an ontological or study of self point of view, and working on ways of being. And one of the distinctions in the 31 ways that I'm studying is love. And as Andrew said, we all think love has to be an external way of being, but it's really about love for yourself. So the more that you show love for yourself, you behave in that way, you are being with love for yourself. I guess in what I've been experiencing, even just recently, it's I look at it as a vibration as well. So the higher the vibration, the more that I'm actually in love with myself. Yeah, and I'm not talking about a vanity thing. It's about, I know that I'm a good person. I behave that way. I'm being not necessarily a good person, but I'm being what I'm trying to be for myself. And I'm not looking at those external factors to encourage me or to add to make me feel better about myself. So it is really, and I think you said this when we were talking just before, that it's not, I've lost my point there. I'll come back to that.
Well, while you're thinking, one thing that I will address, because I think what it brings up is that people have a resistance to being to the idea of unconditional self-love, because they think, well, that means I won't improve, right? Like if I'm just giving love to myself, then where's the edge? Because for me, that comes from criticism. Most people are like, well, if I'm not criticizing myself, how do I grow? And you will only work this out for yourself, but you can give love to all parts of yourself, and you can still stretch yourself to keep developing and growing. Those two things don't have to be mutually exclusive. So yes, growth comes from challenge, which is what we're going to talk through today. But that challenge, imagine if you face the challenges of your life from a place of unconditional love for yourself, as opposed to criticizing different parts of yourself. That's really what I'm throwing out there, is that life will challenge you to grow regardless of how amazing you think you are, right? And so coming from that place when the stuff comes up within you that you find challenging, of allowing it and literally sending that energy of love to it will transform it. But the thing you've got to be really mindful of is it cannot be a technique. You cannot just go, oh, you know, Kevin and Andrew on their podcast were talking about sending love. Why don't I try that? Because I'm feeling bad, so I'll just send a bit of love to myself. You have got to mean it. You've got to get to a point where you maybe have tried other things and you feel a bit desperate, and all you can do is turn to genuinely mean that you genuinely love that part of yourself. And when you do come to that point, the thing will shift. Did you remember what you were saying?
No, I didn't, but it'll come. But while you were talking then, I was just thinking about what's turned up for me in the last few weeks. And we've spoken about this outside of the podcasts. A couple of weeks ago, I got back to that stage because love for myself came up probably March, April last year, and was a big turning point for me. Reflecting on myself. The other thing that goes hand in hand with that is forgiveness. Forgiveness, and one of the things I learned was that we can forgive, we don't have to forget, but letting go. And we talk about letting go, surrendering, whatever we want words you want to use. And that love changed things for me last year, particularly in a relationship, and that was amazing. And then as life goes on, things change along the way, and then things turn the other way. And I got reminded about that a few weeks ago, and I did a masterclass in love and forgiveness again through the programs that I'm working on. And I had another relationship challenge, and that changed the way that I had the conversation around that. It was about what I wanted out of the relationship, not what I was trying to compromise to keep a relationship. And that was that feeling of that sense of vibration was just at such a different level. And I could feel it right through everything. We talk about getting emotions stuck in our body and all that sort of. I didn't have any of that feeling at the time, and then it slowly creeps back again. And we've got to come back and reflect on what's happening with the love for yourself. Are there doubts coming back in? Am I not good enough again? Something hasn't happened. Any of those things, and then you start to feel those emotions stored up somewhere in your body again, and then you're going to go through the practices again. So as you were saying about it's not I'll get to the plateau and then that's it, that's me done for life. It doesn't work that way.
You just keep growing and moving.
I
think the thing I really resonate with that, and the bit I resonate with that about is how relationships can be your teachers. So I'm coming out of a relationship, and I guess I'm going through the process of thinking about and having an intention about what I would like my next relationship to be. And that's driven the context of me working through a whole lot of layers of stuff about aspects of myself that I, a couple around compromise, which I shared with you, and things around how do you create if I in the future want a relationship that's win-win, where it's based on this is what I need and this is what you need, and this really honest dialogue about how do we make that work. There are things that in the past that are inside me that have prevented that from being a reality in the relationships that I've had.
It's almost like a foundation.
Yeah. Well, they're patterns within me. It's my own emotional, mental patterns.
But I mean, the love part is the foundation. And the stronger that is, the more that you can build on it.
It is. But the inner love you have for yourself is your own foundation.
That's what I mean. Yes.
You have to love yourself to be able to receive
That's
love.
what I mean. Yes. It's that inner foundation, that inner love that allows you to be able to put yourself out there, whatever you want to call it, and attract things, because you get to attract it rather than chase it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the thing for me is that as that's been what's created the need to work on those patterns and within myself. But the way I've been able to do that is over time, and it just keeps coming up, like everyone, like we've talked about, it goes in waves, it's up and down, it's whatever, is through working as an inner process of acceptance through love. And that seems to, just like you've just described, is over time raises your default so that love becomes possible for you externally in the way that you would like it to.
Yeah.
You know, in the relationship you would like to have, that is equal, and there's not these patterns of whatever. And I can now see that. You know, everyone says that a great relationship starts with, like, you.
With me? No. Well, thank you.
You're a beautiful man. I've never told you, but you know, like you've got to love yourself to be loved, and all that stuff they say in, like, you know, in all the relationship books.
Yeah,
I never really believed it.
Yeah,
though, until I have started doing this work, because I can feel it's what within you gets manifested into your relationship.
Yeah.
And so if you're carrying that in, you'll get that. Yes. Whereas if you are actually working within to create that pure love within you, that will be created outside of you.
Yeah, and
I can see that now. I can feel. I must see it. Probably feel it.
Yeah, and just to pick up on that point, it's when you say pure love, I don't think we ever get to that level.
No.
Yeah.
That's probably.
I know what you're trying to say, but it's never going to get
authentic
to that 100%.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
You've got to believe it within you. Is what
absolutely.
I was trying to say.
And you have to believe it, but you also have to be it. Yeah. If you are then it's happening for you. Yeah. And it's noticeable to other people as well. Yeah. So where are you now?
I'm still working on it, and I will continue to work on it. And I feel like what that's allowing me to do is to go into relationships without devaluing my intention for that relationship and what I would like from it. From it is the wrong word, but the kind of relationship I want to create. So before, I would probably undermine myself and go, no, well, I can't have that, or I can't have this, or I'm not really, that's not something I can have.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like the more work I do, and I'm not completely done, but the more work I do, it's more likely that we are going to have the honest, robust conversations we need to have to establish compatibility in a way that means both our needs are going to be met more times than not, right? And
be able to have those conversations. The love for yourself and the authenticity with yourself allows for those conversations to just be more authentic.
Yeah,
they come across that way. They are that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. For me, a similar thing. I've had conversations even this week that have raised that question again of me, what I think about myself, how much I love myself, and the conversations were amazing because I'm coming from that feeling of, hey, this is what I am, and this is who I am being, and this is what it is, and the conversation just flowed from that. It was really a great conversation, but it was a challenge at the same time. It's never an easy thing. It's not like, well, okay, I'm at 100% now, thanks guys, I'll just sit back. It doesn't work that way. It's continually being challenged, but using love for yourself to get through those challenges is what's really powerful.
I agree. And I don't talk about gender very much, but I am going to say that for the men watching, every one of you have, if you doesn't matter, who you've met, people who have been in relationships with other men that have behaved in a way that have been hurtful. And we were talking about this before, and I don't speak for all men. I don't even speak for you, but I would encourage you to look within you to heal and resolve some of those internal dynamics that you've got, so that you can show up in full love in the relationships you've got for the people that you are around you. Because that's how we create a better world, is not always through the UN. It's through healing ourselves, so that actually our communities are stronger and our families are stronger and we're stronger. And the process that you use to do that within you matters. It really matters. It matters to the partner you've got. It matters to the children that you have, and it matters to the community that you sit in. So I would encourage you to keep doing that work.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we've had these conversations outside of this podcast, but this is the culmination of what we're talking about.
Okay.
We want to work on ourselves to create a better life for ourselves, for our communities, for our families, and there's that
greater harmony in the world.
Yeah, there's that that connected consciousness that we talk about as well. It's like, we'll do our little piece, and really that's what we are setting out to do. And it's a challenge in itself.
It is.
Yeah.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.
It didn't work, did it? Might have to edit this.